Alright, so full time. Terrapins 1 and Jang Troopers 0.
1-0. Honestly, we thought it was going to be a draw, but fortunately for Terrapins, they found that one little gap that Jang, like we said earlier, that Jang was a bit flimsy. Not flimsy, but they were good in defense. It's just that
There was the mistake. There was
one
that
mistake.
gap.
So the mind
mind and body faltered. Mind and body faltered, and well, they took advantage of it. They finally got what they wanted, the one goal.
Alright, so you written before we go, you written the stats here for the whole game. So if you just read out a little bit.
Alright, so let me read out the stats here.
Okay.
In total, the Terrapins committed 15 fouls, whereas Jang only committed 14 fouls.
Okay.
There were 2 yellow cards for There were 2 yellow cards for each team. 2 offsides for Terrapins, 1 offside for Jang. Terrapins managed to win 3 corners, whereas Jang actually got 1 corner. Terrapins got 2 saves, whereas Jang, the keeper, got 3 saves.
Okay.
But the total amount of shots taken by Terrapins was 12, with 6 on target, meaning only half of it were actually on target, whereas Jang only had 3 shots on target, with 2 of it being 3 shots taken, with 2 of it being on target.
Okay. So from that statistical point of view, how can we gather the story of the game?
The story of the game was we could see a progression, especially from Jang, and that's really impressive.
And honestly, on paper, you would feel that Terrapin had better control of the game. They had better technical aspect of the game, but on the field itself, Jang dominated the midfield throughout the second and third half.
And props to number 11 as well from Jang, for kind of holding it at the second and third half. You realize there's a progression between the first, second, and third half. In the first half, you could not see any composure from Jang.
So was it a tactical dig in from the team itself to say, okay, alright,
well, I would say
let's take the game to them?
Yeah. I would say in the second half that you could see that Jang actually made a change in their tactics, because you could see number 8 going off during the second half.
Yes.
And he only came back in near the end of the second half, where you see them not using number 8 as a focal point. And with that changed that changed a lot, because Terrapin had no idea who to look after, who to mark.
And back in the first half, they had number 8 to mark. At the second half, when number 8 was taken off, no one was there, and this is the point where you see that composure coming back.
The composure and the confidence coming
and
back.
And in the third half, it's just very solid until the goal.
That is true.
Alright, so contenders for man of the match, maybe one from each team, and we can make an overall conclusion of the whole man of the match.
One for each team. For me, Jang's goalkeeper deserved man of the match. Without him, I don't know how Jang would have been able to.
So let's just have a hypothetical theory here. If the keeper wasn't composed or really phazed by Terrapins,
if the keeper couldn't keep himself together, they'd be out.
Easily 5.
So is that a foundation for Jang to build around the keeper and also the gameplay of style it face against a very strong opponent?
Honestly, if they're playing against any opponent right now with a very high attack like Terrapin, they should learn to utilize more on their counter attack, because we can see that they can counter. It's just right now their counters didn't really end up really well.
And another thing I want to add on to that as well is the fact that Jang actually has the potential to play the opponent team to their favour.
Exactly.
As you can see in the second and third half most importantly, Terrapins had no chance to play their own game. They actually faltered for a moment in the last 10 minutes.
But props to Terrapins, they did see that small gap and they did get to convert.
It was very unfortunate.
Props to them.
Very unfortunate.
Props to them for that.
Yes, props to them. Props to Terrapins for getting a goal. But it's a real shame that Jang had to go home without a point.
Okay, so this is the debut. Thoughts on the first game that we have watched for the Selangor Champions League, SEL?
Honestly, if you're asking me about this, I was not actually fully exposed to it. But now, just watching them play like this, I'm looking forward to it. The league is going to be interesting.
There's a lot of potential that's going to come in the coming matches.
That's true.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Alright, good. That's from us, from New Camp, and back to you guys. Alright.